Welcome to Jobbed Out, the wrestling editorial that reminds you that wrestling fans don't go to shows because of the junk in your trunks. So for the last few weeks on AEW Dynamite, they've been building up towards a rematch between Kenny Omega and the Bastard PAC, formerly Mighty Mouse Adrian Neville in WWE. PAC had been attacking Omega's friends and closest acquaintances week after week in order to sway Omega. This week, PAC made it seem like he was going to go after AEW Women's Champion Riho, who has been a part of Kenny Omega's big Joshi project for the company. So, Omega accepted PAC's challenge out of fear that PAC would attack her. Instead, blindside! Nyla Rose of all people appeared and attacked Riho instead. And my Twitter feed blew up for the wrong reasons. I know in this day and age people are more vocal than ever, and it's become more and more acceptable to just shut out dissenting opinions, whether it's based on fact or feelings, and just dismiss those opinions who disagree with you because they're obviously just trolls. Personally, I welcome them. Because if you're still watching and commenting, you can have your opinion as long as it isn't incredibly bigoted or illegal. I'll just consider it valid whether I agree with you or not. That's how conversations go. Now, Nyla Rose, for those who have forgotten, is an openly transgender pro wrestler and the first to be signed to a major wrestling promotion. Sadly, there are still a ton of people online who take issue with Nyla Rose's very existence, let alone position in the company. That she is actually a he, and that Nyla doesn't belong in a women's division. You've heard it all before. Hilariously, you keep hearing it from the same people who would oppose calling someone with long hair, breasts, and long nails a he, and would also object to Nyla wrestling the men. It's just a case of, I don't understand it, so get it away from me. What you don't end up hearing is feedback on Nyla's matches, or storylines themselves, because these people are too busy standing on their soapbox to actually, watch. And this leads me to this question. Could the WWE ever have a trans wrestler like Nyla Rose? Whether female to male, male to female, pre-op, post-op, whatever. Could they do it? And I think the answer is no, for a couple of reasons. One, because the WWE has only ever used the concept of gender assignment as a joke. I'm pretty sure Vince McMahon still thinks trans means transvestite. A crossdresser. Harvina, Sammy, Santina Marella. They would never be able to take the subject seriously, and the wrestler in question would probably be a short-term carny act that they would release pretty quick. You remember Zach Gowen? Before you tell me that there's nothing else they could have done with Zach, look at TNA and how they handled Chris Melendez. When TNA can do a better job of tastefully tackling a visible minority, in this case an amputee, then WWE, you are doing it wrong. But I digress. The second reason the WWE couldn't ever have a trans wrestler on their roster is because they'd be too busy patting their own shoulders and making a gigantic PR campaign to actually, have them wrestle. Here's the thing, AEW has done pretty much everything right when it comes to Nyla Rose. They signed Nyla Rose because Nyla Rose can wrestle. Nyla was intended to be AEW's Awesome Kong before they got Awesome Kong, and now that Awesome Kong is back on the way out, Nyla can be Awesome Kong again. They did point out that Nyla was transgender at the signing, yes. And they've made a point not to shove that tidbit down our throats ever since. It doesn't matter that Nyla used to be a man, what matters is Nyla Rose beats up the smaller women in the division. And the WWE is just plain incapable of doing that. We saw with the Women's Revolution, for example. It's not just a matter of the change itself, but how much and how loudly they boast that they performed this change. How Stephanie McMahon is a pioneer for issuing the change. For how the change led to new titles and a pay-per-view. Remember that change? The WWE did that. Praise them for being courageous and making that change. So AEW signed a transgender wrestler. They pointed it out once, and then from that moment, Nyla Rose wasn't our trans wrestler. She was Nyla Rose. If it were the WWE, there'd be a signing, massive press releases, huge PR spots, maybe a commercial with GLAAD or Be a Star, and a reminder for Michael Cole every single week on SmackDown that this superstar is transgender to the point that their personality is completely irrelevant. And if you're lucky, maybe you'll find out whether or not they can wrestle. That's of course ignoring that the WWE is a publicly traded company, and they care about the backlash when it comes from shareholders and their primary demo, which, in 2020, are angry old boomers who'd protest the signing without any interest of ever watching a match. You know, like the NFL National Anthem deal. I know it's not wrestling, but a clip went viral recently from a US Democratic caucus where a woman who agreed and supported Pete Buttigieg's policies wanted her card back because she found out he was gay. That was more important than whether or not the guy can do the job. And that is the difference. In the WWE, it's about how they can pat their own shoulders by hiring you. And in AEW, it's about how you can do the job. So, do you think I'm wrong? Do you think the WWE could have a trans wrestler without turning them into Santina? Or do you think the WWE couldn't or shouldn't be open to the idea at all? Let me know what you think in the comments. For now though, I better get my shoulders off the mat, so thank you for tuning in to Jobbed Out. I'll catch you next time.